This program is part of the Far South Border North initiative by the City of San Diego in partnership with regional collaborators, funded in part by the California Arts Council and the Conrad Previs Foundation. California is a powerhouse in agriculture, contributing nearly 12% of the nation's produce. This sector drives the state's economy and positions California among the world's largest economies. Despite San Diego's thriving agricultural and food industry, which boasts an abundance of ethnically diverse restaurants, grocery stores, and farmers markets brimming with fresh produce, it's shocking that nearly 24% of San Diegans now are facing food insecurities and even hunger. This alarming disparity stems from a lack of access and transportation to affordable, nutritious foods found in grocery stores, compounded by the widespread availability of cheap, highly processed foods offered at convenience stores and fast food restaurants with little nutritional value. Then, 2020 changed the world. We suddenly faced a pandemic as COVID-19 spread quickly, filling hospitals with patients fighting for their lives. As public health officials scrambled to mitigate the impacts of the disease, morbidity rates rose disproportionately within our most vulnerable communities. But why? Historically, San Diego's communities of color have faced significant socioeconomic disparities, particularly in access to affordable healthcare, including insurance for life-saving medications. These challenges, combined with poor diets high in processed foods, have led to diet-related diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. This created a perfect storm, resulting in more severe illness and higher morbidity rates compared to other populations. The stark reality is that those living in our most vulnerable communities are much more likely to suffer from chronically poor health. Alarmingly, this trend is also impacting youth, with 1 in 5 children now struggling with obesity and diet-related diseases due to poor eating habits and a lack of exercise. Sugar intake is the #1 culprit, as it is found everywhere in processed foods. What drives these factors even higher is that many minority youth live in what are called food deserts, where access to healthful food is minimal. So, if diet and nutrition lifestyle choices mainly drive this factor, can simply changing one's eating habits and seeking healthier lifestyles better protect ourselves and our families from diet-related diseases, despite disparities in accessible healthcare and other socioeconomic challenges? Indeed, we can. By making health-conscious decisions about our diet from a young age, we can not only significantly mitigate the impact of diseases, but also bestow upon ourselves the invaluable gift of a longer, happier, and more fulfilling life. Hello, I'm your host, Kathleen Choi. Welcome to Food for Life. While growing up in Korea, I learned the art of cooking from an early age in my grandmother's kitchen. Her delicious recipes using fresh organic ingredients bought from local farmers markets helped shape my attitudes toward food as medicine for the body and soul. Other exceptionally talented San Diego culinary artists and cultural practitioners will join me in exploring the many facets of health and wellness. Our goal at Food for Life is to help empower you with the knowledge and inspiration to make healthier choices when investing in your body's health and preventing the diseases many face today due to poor health decisions. Let's start by heading to a local grocery store where I'll be meeting with Kim and Hinda, who work at the Neighborhood Enterprise Center in City Heights.
Number 5.
Oh my god, they're on deal. Are you gonna get some?
I'm gonna get 2, yeah.
Okay, I'll get some too.
Oh, there's cosmic brownies.
I like the chocolate one. Chocolate.
I get both.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Kim. Hi. Oh, hi. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So, Hinda, what are you going to make?
Tomorrow I'm preparing spicy Thai. Yeah.
What are the ingredients you would need to buy?
So I need onions, garlic, and Thai chilies, and chicken, and eggs and rice too.
Now, what is your budget?
For today, my budget is $30.
And what about you, Kim?
I'm gonna be making meat sambusas.
So, what's your ingredients?
I have tortilla, I have cilantro, I have potato, I have ground beef, I have tomato, and I have jalapeno and onions.
And then let's walk towards the fresh produce area, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, just grab those.
I'm gonna grab about 6. 6.
All right.
I think serranos are more spicy. Jalapenos are not that spicy.
Okay. I think there's so much food waste out there because if you don't really know how to shop right and how to preserve and store the food properly, it all goes to waste, right? So it's a good deal, but really think about what your meal plans are going to be like this week.
Right.
Are you going to be using more cilantro?
I don't think so. I think this is more than enough.
Great. Okay, just buy one then. Good job. What do you think? Anything new that you learned today?
Yeah, I learned how to have food that has less sodium, because that will help us in the long run. And also how to compare and contrast prices.
There you go. Yeah. The following day, Hinda and Kim meet up at the NEC kitchen to prepare their recipes. Chef Eddie joins Hinda as she creates her spicy Thai chicken dish.
All right, Hinda. Okay, so tell us, what are we going to be making today? What have you learned from these dishes?
Today we're going to be making spicy Thai chicken,
Okay.
which is a Korean dish, and Korean is located in Southeast Asia.
Nice. A little bit of the rice. Really nice and steamy. Oh. I'll eat that every day. All day long. Good job. That is delicious. So I've been working for UPAC for the past 6 years. My background is in culinary arts. I've been cooking for 30 plus years. I started all the way from a dishwasher, worked my way to a prep, to a fry cook, to a short order cook, and so on. I've opened several chains of restaurants. At the same time, I fell into banquets in the hotel industry. And that grew my interest more into deeper culinary than just basic foods.
Later, Hinda assists Kim in making delicious meat sambusas using traditional Ethiopian Hawazi spice.
What is in the Hawash spices?
In the Hawaii spices have cumin, cardamom, black pepper, cinnamon, and turmeric, and it's mixed together, and that makes the Hawaii spice.
Food's good.
Now that's food for life. Good job.
Of course. Thanks for helping me.
You're welcome.
By engaging our youth in their early years in learning about the importance of our food ecosystem, including the process of seeding, growing, and harvesting foods, as well as composting that protects our natural resources and environment, they can have a better awareness and understanding of the critical role that food plays in our everyday life while encouraging healthier eating habits.
We learned new things, how to eat healthier, and how we can now know how to make our own garden at home so we can eat more healthy at home.
What I liked about this garden is that we learn about our ecosystem plants, and it's a fun and healthy way to learn about our plants.
Now, let's meet Chef Ron Oliver, who is the former chef de cuisine at the Marine Room in La Jolla. Chef Ron is now focused on preserving and promoting organic maize, or corn as we know it, one of the basic staple foods in Hispanic and Native American cultures.
So we're all gathered here today. We're trying to make a grassroots movement to really progress the agenda of real corn, because corn is the single most important food item in the history, the present, and the future of the Americas. And unfortunately, it's kind of been sidetracked, and it's grown and it's consumed in a way that's not really healthy anymore. So the goal for us would be to increase the supply, which would bring the cost down and make it more accessible. But the other goal would be to have the corn accessible, this type of corn accessible for people to purchase and also use it to cook with and make their own tortillas, which is the way it's done traditionally.
Ron and Isabel also recently held an event in Imperial Beach to explain the process of making tortillas from masa made with all natural corn.
What we're doing really is kind of reconnecting people with their roots. This process may look difficult or complicated, but it's something that's been done in thousands and thousands of households throughout Mexico for hundreds of years. And it's really pretty easy.
Paul Maschka is a local farmer and educator who grows non-GMO maize for his crop, providing a healthier alternative to commercially grown corn. Ron and Isabel meet Paul at his urban farm in National City to discuss the farm's importance to the local community.
Hi, my name is Paul Maschka. I teach down at a nonprofit farm school in Imperial Beach. It's in San Diego. They call it the regenerative farming school that we teach a number of different courses there. The main ones is like a farming 101, and it focuses on all the different small scale methods that people could grow food or farming. I also farm in Chula Vista, and it's a small farm called the Farmer's Shadow Project, and the focus is to grow ancient varieties of crops that some are going extinct or some are getting very rare. And they're ancient varieties of plants that have been grown all over the world, and I'm just one of the many, many growers that are trying to preserve these old varieties of foods that were created by our ancestors. So this is the chapalote I grew last year in the other patch, and this is the same seed that was all planted here. And there's a few spaces that are open, and they're still young enough we could plant. But you can take a look at these.
Nice, thank you.
It's a really interesting, dark, brown, shiny corn.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Look at that. It's really unique. Be able to just push up through the soil, and it just gets covered. And that'll be a small patch. At least 2 or 3 of them will come up.
Operated as a nonprofit by the Resource Conservation District of Greater San Diego County near Imperial Beach, Wild Willow Farms has also been cultivating and empowering sustainable food communities in San Diego since 2010.
The
style or the technique of farming that we utilize here is regenerative farming. Regenerative farming places a big focus on tending to the soil, taking care of the soil microbes. One of the more practical ways that we do that or implement that is by doing no-till. That means that we're never turning the soil as that disturbs the microbes in the soil. We're adding a lot of fresh manure, a lot of fresh compost into our piles, into our beds, so that we, again, are regenerating the soil and help feed the microbes that are in the soil.
I picked this opportunity because I had the opportunity to go outside, be in the outdoors, and learn about food, farming, and hopefully more about sustainability, which is something that I've always been interested in and just want to get into more.
I've been volunteering at the farm for about a year now, a little over a year, and that was my initial interest. And I'm really interested in kind of the intersection of health and food. I think that's a pretty big deal these days. And working here on an organic regenerative farm is pretty sweet because we don't use any pesticides, fertilizers, herbicides, no chemicals, and I think that that's going to be super important to the future of food.
I love that I could learn how to grow from seed to harvest. It's just fascinating to see like a little seedling go into a fruit or a vegetable that I could then cook with and know that I actually grew this.
I volunteered here at Wild Willow for several months, and then they had a job posting for an education coordinator. And I said, you know what, why don't I just go for it? And I ended up getting the position, and I've been working here for the last 9 months, and it's been wonderful seeing our connection to the people that we help to serve and feed.
The Second Chance Youth Garden was cultivated 10 years ago as preventative measures to help youth ages 14 to 21 have access to opportunities, really to give job development skills in a fun way through gardening and get them connected to their community. They also learn to cultivate some mental health strategies and camaraderie. We have cooking classes. So we break bread together, and we really learn how to support each other and have a safe space, a safe green space to regulate the nervous system and really set the youth up to be healthy leaders.
I've been here for 6 weeks, and we learned how to properly prepare beds for plants and feed them certain type of vitamins they need to grow. I've been having fun, even though it's a lot of hard work, but the outcome is good because we get to eat what we plant.
I am the co-bilingual outreach coordinator for Suncoast Market Cooperative. Suncoast Market is a cooperative market, just like any other grocery store, except that our owners are our residents. We just wanted a grocery store in our community. We wanted to have access to healthy food, to organic food, to local farms, and we didn't have it. And so we started working towards that goal. So one of the things that we knew was very important in this project was making sure that our Latino community, our other BIPOC communities were part of the process. And so because we have such a large population of Latino residents, we wanted to start promoting healthy workshops, and they're engaged in this process of changing the health of our community, right? Where does our food come from? What local farms are we working with? In an ideal world, our community is going to be very educated and knowledgeable about what those things are.
Liberation Through Art, we create accessible art and health-related programming for Black San Diegans and the San Diego community at large through different events. So whether it's workshops, whether it's Summit and Resource Fair, we just try to give resources to the community and then also give art to the community. I think at Liberation Through Art, we just really champion people being active within their community, and we understand that everyone can be a leader and create change within their community.
I think in my community, the biggest barrier is probably the majority of our income has to go to housing and transportation, and working longer hours to barely cover, housing on a monthly basis, I think contributes to having to access fast food, having to access, limited meals a day, or only having enough for like 1 meal or 2 meals per day at the most.
I'm Sam Duke. My title is Director of Programs. I oversee our distribution network and all the food moving out into the community through our distribution center. In San Diego, more than 350,000 people face hunger. So Feeding San Diego is here to help solve that problem. Through our distribution model, anyone in need can access food resources. Food Rescue is a really unique program where we work with retailers all over the county, connect them directly with our partners, and they're able to go capture food that is short-dated, still safe for consumption, and get it right out to their community members in need. So of all the food we distribute, more than 92% is Food Rescue.
The Kroger Zero Hunger, Zero Waste initiative. It's very simple, as simple as it sounds, Zero Hunger, Zero Waste. Last year alone, we donated over 23 million meals to those communities where you find a lot of food insecurity, either with donations, direct product, or contributions to some of those institutions that provide for those communities. Our zero waste, all of our stores in our system, whatever product isn't used or produce is not used, comes back to our headquarters in Compton, and we're able to produce energy from that alone as well too. Over 500 schools in San Diego County are under Title I funding through California. That helps with funding for food in those insecure areas where children might need that extra food, that extra nutrition to get through their day.
Chef Eddie not only runs Timmy's Place in downtown San Diego, but also the NEC Kitchen and Deli in City Heights as part of their youth training programs. Let's learn more about how these culinary arts programs are impacting the youth's physical and mental health and wellness.
I was born and raised in refugee camp in Nepal. I basically lived there for 16 years, and after 16 years, my family decided to move to They decided to resettle in third country, which was the United States of America. We used to go to outreach for homeless outreach. That was the reason I kept going to UPAC. Like through time, I grew like from just a youth to employee. Now I'm manager of Timmy's and the neighborhood cafe.
So being able to be self-sustained, to be able to build for them, and to be able to still have funds to create those jobs for them, it's one of the challenges that we come from. How do we solve that? We've been solving that by being able to implement large caterings, large events, having people to come in the coffee shop and say, hey, I've heard what you guys are doing. Let me contribute. And they come in, they get some good food, they get contributions. So it's creating that the promotion, the word of mouth to be able to get people to come in here. And we've done a decent job.
My name is Derek Michael Bing Jr. and I've lived in California for a little bit over 14 years now. And before I started working here, I worked at NEC. And before I worked at NEC, I didn't have a job at that point, and NEC was the first that gave me one. Before this, life wasn't exactly the best. Before I came here, I was homeless for almost 3 years at that point, and that was not a fun period in my life. And I got lucky. This has definitely been a good job for me. It also teaches you great life skills, like learning how to communicate with the other people, especially when they're not around.
So the kids are very hands-on, from purchasing one apple to processing a catering of $50,000 in a financial aspect. So that's the wide spectrum of the welfare. Now everybody's skill set, everybody's interest is quite different. So therefore we accommodate to each and every one individually to be able to succeed in whatever they want to succeed on as far as what we offer.
In 2021, amidst the pandemic, we were presented with an opportunity to open up the soap factory. So my wife and I opened up the soap factory in 2021, and Early Grow Creations is the name of our product line. Now, our line of products, health and wellness products, where we grow some of the ingredients here on site. We distill some of the oils and use them to make soap and other cosmetics. Now, out of that, Early Grow Gardens was born. And Early Grow Gardens is the gardening part aspect, the permaculture, the soil regeneration, where I build gardens for other people that have a space but don't know how to use it. They like the idea of growing their own food, but they don't know where to start. That's where I come in. What we're gonna be doing over here, we're gonna be growing some of the herbs that we use for our products for Early Grow, for our soap that we make here on site. And along the lines, we're also gonna be growing vegetables, you know, to cater to the people, you know, and so people can have access to good quality food here in Logan Heights.
In many neighborhoods, the youth face transportation challenges in not only getting to school and work, but in accessing healthy food sources, such as grocery stores, which often limit their diet choices. The MTS Youth Opportunity Pass program is helping to change that by providing free transit passes for youth 18 and under and giving them the freedom to access better foods.
The Youth Opportunity Pass program is a free transit pass program for people that are 18 years old and younger. The main objectives of the Youth Opportunity Pass program is to improve accessibility to a wide variety of lifeline services for those 18 and under, whether that's healthcare, education, going to see friends and family, accessing food. So there's a wide variety of reasons why breaking down barriers and improving accessibility to these things is important for our youth, and that's what the Youth Opportunity Pass does for our youth.
I'm a single dad, you know, so I mean, we wouldn't be able to be here if people didn't help out, you know, donating stuff. Organizations are always real helpful.
San Diego Hunger Coalition is a backbone organization, and we focus on creating equitable access to food assistance. And we work collaboratively with other nonprofits in San Diego County to fight hunger. We do this through our data, research, our advocacy, and training and technical assistance. Because in San Diego County, 1 of every 4 people is nutrition insecure, and that's something that we sometimes don't talk about because there's like some stigma linked to not having enough food to support your family. But the number that I like to use all the time is to remind people that this statistic means that 1 in 4 of your neighbors, they might not have enough food in their table tonight, and they are not going to tell you because we don't want to tell people that we don't have food for our children. But one of the things that we try to create a lot of awareness is to remember that it's not you who's failing your family, it's the system who has been failing the families that live in San Diego.
We're in the wealthiest country in the world, and it saddens me that a lot of the seniors especially are struggling to just put food on the table. And people shouldn't have to make a choice between whether to pay the rent or to eat. And I've heard cases where people are even eating animal food, you know, like cat food and pet food to supplement, you know, so that really saddens me. And, you know, nobody should be in that state in this country.
We often don't consider the Native Americans who were the original stewards of these lands for thousands of years, long before there was even a San Diego. Today, their culture and heritage is being preserved for the next generations by the San Diego American Indian Health Center.
So San Diego American Indian Health Center, we serve underserved and very multicultural population. And we're very proud we provide comprehensive medical, dental, behavioral, and we also do a lot of wellness programs, which includes diet and nutrition for preventative care. So I'm Kevin LaChapelle. I'm very proud to serve as the CEO for this organization for about 4.5 years. This is probably the most amazing job I've ever had because of fulfillment of seeing patients impacted every day. The team we have, their heart is right there, and they treat our patients like it was their family, and that's just amazing to see.
I've been here about 8 years now, going on 9 this year, and I love it here. They have me do a lot of artwork here, which I am pleased to do because I enjoy doing that. It's just, I used to do that in LA, so now I get to do it here. It's helped me get through a lot of things, and having my Native culture close to me because it's who I am as a Native American Kiowa in my art. Some of the things that we do in art will actually help them to connect with what we're trying to teach them or show them. So it plays a big part in part of the Native culture here at the Youth Center. You know, we have a garden that we created, which is still growing, and we want to incorporate that into our meals here at the Youth Center.
Hi, I'm Veronica Whitehorse. I go by Ronnie. I'm a nurse. I'm basically doing a lot of diabetes education. That's one of my focuses, and I'm also in charge of infection control in the clinic. Health disparities, you know, a lot of it is overweight, and you can see that people tend to start to develop high blood sugars as a result of that, and cholesterol due to the diets that kids and people in general are eating every day. Some of the things that can contribute to that are like the economics, housing. If you can't cook somewhere, then you can't prepare healthy meals. Knowledge about healthy foods and even exposure to healthy foods. And also, you know, I've experienced that some people don't cook. Cooking is kind of a lost art, so to speak.
My name is Marian Elizabeth McIntosh. I am a nutrition educator here at San Diego American Indian Health Centers, and I do a couple of food demonstrations for the youth at the Youth Center, as well a cooking demo for our patients here. And I also do meet with a couple of our patients and provide a little bit of nutrition education using approved curriculum sources. I also bring in recipes that include traditional Native American staple foods. So for example, I have made Three Sisters soup, vegetable succotash, and I also include the kiddos at the Youth Center to follow me at the garden that we have here so that they're able to help me pick out the herbs and also as well as a couple of vegetables that we have.
Let's first meet Chef Danielle Sharesse, who teaches culinary arts at Hoover High School in City Heights.
Having access to a program like this through high school, it's very beneficial. It's filling a gap that it's missing. This is missing in a lot of homes. So this type of program would be beneficial, I think, in every school. I love connecting with these kids. I love, it's kind of living vicariously. It keeps my excitement alive for food. Their excitement for what's the next recipe? What are we cooking next week, chef? You know, I feed off of that, and it helps me to know that I'm doing a good job because they're excited and passionate about getting in the kitchen. All they want to do is come in and cook.
The wet and dry ingredients. I want to do this class because I feel like it's beneficial in a lot of ways. I feel like it's something everyone needs to know. It's like learning how to cook properly. Because I feel like it's a useful skill. Everyone needs to know that because I feel like a lot of people don't, especially my age.
So half a cup
Yeah. Oh wait, I don't think I need this.
Yeah, you do need this.
No, I can just. I believe that it's very important for students like me to learn to make and cook healthy foods because the ones who are heading up to college, those of us who are lacking such skills, they're most likely going to turn towards fast foods or takeout or frozen foods, which can be detrimental to their health or can start some health problems that they didn't have before.
So this is Hoover Garden, the wonderful Hoover Garden. We have community members that come and volunteer here, and they take care of everything, water everything. They harvest all of the greens here. Everything here is edible.
I do think that this class will help me in the long run to make food for myself. You know, it's been good to learn new skills that I haven't known before. I think everybody should be able to learn to cook for themselves. I think it's a really important skill that they should learn because, you know, imagine how much money you're wasting taking out on buying food, takeout, and all that type of stuff. And it's not even good for you sometimes. Like, you don't know what's going inside the food. But when you're cooking yourself, you can learn what you're putting in, what you're putting in your body, and all that stuff.
I mainly cook for myself, but if my family needs help, then I will help with them. I think my favorite part is being hands-on with everything we make. I think it's really fun to make everything, like knowing I made it makes it like 10 times better, in my opinion.
This is food for life.
My name's Mercedes Tiggs. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I am a professor, I'm an educator, and I'm the owner and founder of 816 Culinary Therapy. My passion and love for cooking was birthed in my grandmother's kitchen. Sarah was born on August the 16th, and so in paying homage to her and everything that she did for me, I decided to name my business after her, 816 Culinary Therapy. She would just always say, when you cook and you make food, you use your hands because that's how you put love in it. Culinary therapy is an innovative and non-traditional way of therapy. I use the art of food preparation and mindfulness to address mental well-being, emotional well-being, and physical health. So really it is the art of being mindful in the kitchen. And so what sets culinary therapy apart from other is it's a different way to do therapy. I consider culinary therapy to be a form of art therapy. And so allowing you to get in the kitchen and create art. I like to incorporate all 5 senses. So when we start, we are mindful from start to finish. My goal is to make cooking more therapeutic and not feel like a chore.
Finally, let's meet with Dr. Angie Neison, a certified family, lifestyle, and culinary medicine doctor practicing in San Diego. Dr. Neison is a health leader who transforms food, health, and healing through her nutrition and preventative medicine expertise. Let's find out what makes her integrated approach so impactful for her patients and how it may even shape the future of how we treat diseases.
So culinary medicine is the idea of all of the science that I learned in medical school and my training and all the health-related conditions, and then putting it together with the art and beautiful flavors of food and marrying the two so that we can optimize one's health to make our health better so that we can age gracefully and do all the things that we love to do. I always tell people that my story comes from, it's in my DNA. So I spoke Spanish first, I spoke English second, and food as medicine was my 3rd language. And so I think that if we really want to invest in breaking generational cycles of chronic diseases, we really need to invest in that generation of the parents who are actively caring for our patients and our next generation. And also the youth can play a role in teaching their parents what they know about health and what they're learning about in school, and then adapting it so that it doesn't become a different thing. The reality is that we do not live in a scientific study. We have day-to-day stresses, we have day-to-day things we have to do, we have our jobs, we have our school, and so we are not going to be an experiment. Only we can experiment with ourselves. And so that's going to be very different for every person. So it might look like one day to the next you change, or it might look like little pieces. You're doing something different each day. And every single day you're moving towards this journey of making progress. Doesn't have to be all or nothing. It just has to be progress.
Today, we conclude our Food for Life series with a roundtable discussion featuring our culinary artists and explore what we have learned through this journey. I also thought I'd share my popular Korean-inspired kalbi burger recipe for a delicious twist on a classic burger. Packed with healthful lean ground turkey enriched with nutritious tofu, this burger is a treat for your taste buds and a boost to your health. The tofu adds a dose of plant-based proteins, vitamins and minerals, while the fresh mushrooms and drizzle of Korean barbecue galbi sauce provide an irresistible umami punch. The galbi sauce's use of avocado butter and grapeseed oil ensures heart-healthy fats, making this burger a nutritious and delightful meal. You can use the same sauce to marinate chicken, ribs, seafood, pork, or stir-fries. Enjoy a fusion of bold flavors and wholesome ingredients with every bite. Hello, I'm Kathleen Choi, the lead culinary artist for Food for Life, a health and wellness campaign dedicated to addressing the inequities and disparities in diet, nutrition, and disease prevention in San Diego's underserved communities, especially among the youth. Today, I'm at the NEC Neighborhood Kitchen in City Heights for a roundtable discussion, a crucial platform for addressing the critical issues faced by our most vulnerable communities.
A program that really gets a lot of return on investment is school gardens.
Oh, yeah.
And then also community gardens.
Mm-hmm.
So school gardens is really monumental to change because it allows kids to learn where their food comes from. And by participating in the growing of the food, they're more likely to want to eat it as well.
Chef Danielle, what are food deserts for those who are not familiar with this term, and how do they impact our most vulnerable communities?
Food desert pertains to the ability to properly source food, like supermarkets that are accessible or walkable, enough produce, fresh produce, and fresh meats, and just the access to produce. And a lot of our neighborhoods here in the mid-cities, a lot of us don't have access to that. So that's what a food desert is.
My grandmother was a storyteller, and I learned a lot from her. And she didn't really teach us how to cut or handle knives, but proper way of handling and treating herbs and vegetables. The whole time she's telling a story behind, each vegetable or something fun. So we're all listening to her and doing it, and before you know it, everything's done.
It's creative.
We ask for more. Exactly. Yeah, there's so many different ways, but there's some good tips that you shared.
Family meals should be, they're special. The time you spend in the kitchen, and then a time at the dinner table breaking bread and sharing the stories of your day, and purposeful eating.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes there's a story behind the recipe, like your grandmother's cornbread or, whatever family recipe you passed down, and you can kind of share stories about that. It's a time to storytell, like you said.
I also have a lot of students that came in, through the years, through my kitchens. And that's the thing I remember. I don't remember half of the food I make, but I always remember the people and the ones that, contact us later and thank us for, what we did or what we taught. So this program that we're doing right now is the same thing. It's another way to reach and impact people.
food insecurity is huge.
Yes.
In my neighborhood, I teach at Hoover, and I talk to the kids every day, and some of them don't eat breakfast, lunch. Some of them don't come home to dinner. So this is really important to me. It's a passion, and being able to have this as a platform to talk about the needs of the community, the different programs such as Eddie's program, eating healthy, like Ron's program, the Masa, and we have a lot of indigenous and Mexican students in the population of Hoover, and that's part of their culture. It's a deep part of their culture. So I think all of this brings like a lot of the needs of the community together and focuses and highlights that. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
First of all, it's been an amazing journey that we've done here, and I want to thank you personally for allowing us to be part of this project. Because like Chef Daniela says, it's very important for our community. Being able to use this platform to teach them and to reach out there. I know some of our youth, they can't wait for Easter because they want to share it in social media. And I don't think we can ever have enough exposure out there to show, hey, this is what we need to be focused on, which is the earlier habits that we develop as youth, and especially to a communities that that's not a priority.
You've prepared a recipe today using, tortillas from that organically grown corn. So what did you prepare for us today?
We made quesadillas, and the idea behind quesadillas is that it showcases the tortilla. Because a lot of times, you see taco and it's all about the filling and they're overstuffed. But for me, like a taco or a quesadilla, it's the tortilla is the star. And then the filling is kind of like accompaniment.
Sure.
So we did that, and the thing about quesadillas that's so great is that you can really put anything inside of a quesadilla.
What have you prepared for us today?
I made a rainbow fruit salad. It's something I love to prepare, especially during the spring and summer months, because of the vast produce that we have in Southern California. We're so lucky to have all the fresh berries and all the produce, and so it's a fruit salad. It's got nectarines, pineapples, it's got fresh mint, berries, all kinds of goodies in there with like a honey and citrus vinaigrette.
Sounds delicious. I love fruits.
The dish that I chose today was chosen for multiple reasons. One is inspired by some of our youth from here. This dish actually was taught to me by one of our youth that came from a refugee camp.
Wow.
So it's really resembles what we do with the diversity around here. So we got spicy Thai chicken with, it's got fish sauce, it's got a little bit of spicy Thai chilies, which is really nice. So this dish is supposed to bring a lot of heat, and it's got the earthiness of the Thai basil, it's got the fried egg on top with a little bit of yolk. It also has a roll on the dish itself, and it's served with just some steamed rice.
And for my recipes, I've prepared two kinds of dishes, but basically using all the same ingredients, pretty much. And the first one here is called kimbap, and kim means seaweed and bap means rice. And it's a very popular dish in Korea and also even in the US. It's easy to make, enjoyed by kids and adults alike. I always like to introduce this dish at cooking demonstrations because I have the kids come up and then I have them roll it with their favorite ingredients. But typically it's made with lightly seasoned vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah. And then of course the bulgogi beef is a key in this dish. But of course for the vegetarians, you don't have to incorporate the meat. And then I used some of the leftover ingredients over there for bibimbap, which is basically a Korean rice ball. That doesn't contain meat though, but instead I substituted the meat with shiitake mushrooms. You just serve it with Korean gochujang chili paste, which is very popular. But that one in particular is mixed with vinegar. So it has a little bit of acidity, but it's sweet, salty, savory, delicious, my favorite.
So this is one of those dishes you can really just put almost anything, anything you have in your fridge. So it's like, okay, let's clean it up. I love that.
Yeah.
Those are usually the best ones.
Exactly. All this, again, you can put it in quesadillas, right? And of course, finish up with this beautiful, delicious, and healthy rainbow salad. On behalf of everyone who participated in Food for Life, I thank you for watching. I hope that it has inspired you and your families to achieve better health and wellness through the culinary arts. Thank you for being a part of our journey, and stay healthy, San Diego. Like I always say, life's delicious. So, taste it. This program is part of the Far South Border North initiative by the City of San Diego in partnership with regional collaborators, funded in part by the California Arts Council and the Conrad Previs Foundation.